Aloha, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where in the world you're connecting from. This is again Antonio Sangio with Introspective Hypnosis, and this time I am in Hawaii. I'm in Oahu, spending a few days here. It's been amazing, and every time I visit these type of locations with nature, lots of people like to talk about different topics, about hypnosis, about evolution, about reincarnation, lost souls, you name it. So today I wanted to talk about, again, another email I got with one question. The question is, Antonio, what can be an issue for your clients when they come to you for a session or while they're in a session? What can block them for getting the experience that they want? So if you want to know about this and my opinion and what I think is an issue, stay tuned. I'll tell you more about this after this. Welcome back. So, two things that I consider to be an issue. I consider them to be an issue when people come for their sessions, right? Two of them. Number one is preconception, and number two is conscious interference. They're both different, but they both cause the same result. They cause the same issue. So what is it that I'm talking about when I talk about preconception? Preconception is when somebody knows already or knows some stuff before they come to the session. Let me give an example, and this is very common, right? People coming to me saying, I had a session with a psychic, and this psychic told me that I had a past life in such and such place, or that my husband or wife or partner and I have been in a previous life together, and we had this issue, and this is why we're here in this life in order to solve whatever was pending, right? Another example, and this is again very common. I've been told by a psychic that I have an attachment and that I should look for someone to help me get rid of that attachment, that lost soul. So that is just an example of preconception, and this can be a real problem. Why? Because you're relying on the information that someone else gave you. I'm not trying to offend anybody, and I'm not going to disregard what people tell me. Maybe it's important for them, but for a hypnosis session, I cannot take that into account for the session. I cannot jump into a session with that idea, with that preconception. Because number one, as I said, we don't know if what that psychic told you it is true. We don't know if it is accurate. We don't know if that psychic had the actual interpretation of what the psychic was seeing, right? Remember that what the psychic gets is they might be getting images or thoughts or telepathic connection with light beings. I don't know. But everything that goes through them before it goes to you, everything that comes out of their mouth has to go through their filters first. What do I mean when I talk about filters? It goes according to their reality, right? This is an example that I give in the classes when I teach introspective hypnosis classes, just to give you an idea. Let's say that you're driving on your car on the expressway, and you're in a car with your friend, and your friend is a priest. Next to that friend, you have another friend that is, I don't know, a meteorologist, and next to the other friend, you have another friend that is a chemist, right? And as you're driving on the expressway, you see that the car in front of you, you see some light that comes to the car in front of you and lights it up, white light, right? Since you know about metaphysics, you might say, oh my God, that's a spirit guide, right? Your friend the priest is going to say, no, that's the Holy Spirit. And the meteorologist is going to say, no, that is lightning, And the other one, the chemist, is going to say, no, that is a discomposition of the light. So the truth is that there was only one event. There was light coming from the sky, but that event was recorded in our minds in 4 different ways. Why? Because of our filters, right? Our belief system, past memories, past decisions, basic needs, meta programs. Once you go through all those filters, then it records in our mind. So I would say that the same thing happens when somebody gives you information. They're going to give information based on their filters. Are they accurate? Maybe for them they are, but is it accurate for you? Right? Even in a session, when I facilitate a session, I cannot facilitate a session according to what I think is going to happen, or according to what I believe in, or according to my filters. I need to respect my client's reality and let my client go through the experience themselves, right? So it's not a good idea to come with preconceived ideas to the session, because you never know, right? And when we talk about psychic telling others, like, oh, you have a spirit attachment, you need to get to someone to get rid of it, I would say that is very responsible. That is my humble opinion. You're going to tell somebody that they have an attachment. Now this person is going to go like crazy looking for someone to help them. God knows if it's true. God knows if assuming that it is true, that they find the right person to deal with it. But here's my point of view, right? If this person is so psychic that can see an attached spirit, why doesn't this person talk to that attached spirit and help that spirit go to the light? How easy it is to say, oh, by the way, you have this, right? It's like going to a doctor. The doctor says, okay, you have this issue, now you have to go to a doctor to take care of the problem. Aren't you a doctor, right? So that's what I think when people are being told these kind of things. And this affects them during the session. How? But number one, remember that even though they might be in a trance, they are in control at all times. I cannot create something for them. I cannot put them in a trance if they don't want. I cannot create the experience for them. So as soon as they start seeing something different from what the psychic told them or this other medium told them, they're going to say, this is not right. They're going to doubt. They're going to question. They're going to block the experience. Or maybe they're going to try and force themselves to experience what they told happened to them in a previous life, or maybe the technical attachment. Believe it or not, I had clients that I remember this specific client was very upset because this client told me that a very renowned psychic told her that she had an attachment. Once we were in the session, I didn't detect anything. She didn't detect anything. Nothing out of the ordinary happened. So to me, it was like, no, there's nothing there. And what's more, she came with the idea of sharing her sessions with other people because maybe she thought she was going to share messages to the world and speaking to light beings, and none of that happened. This session was very personal. It was very intense. There were a lot of traumas and no attachments. So the way I see it is, okay, I did my job. I provided the experience for the client. I accompanied my client through the experience. She was able to get what she was supposed to get during that time. And you would say the client was happy. Not true. A couple of days later, I received a very long and nasty email on how unhappy she was, that I didn't find an attachment, that such and such. So why? Because what she got is not what I made her get. It's what she got was not according to what she was expecting. But that's what she needed to get during the session. That is out of my control. So this is how preconception before the session can work against you, against my clients. That's number one. Number two, conscious interference. And I kind of knew this, I was getting this in my sessions, but I also read it in Michael Newton's book, Life Between Lives. And I like this book, and I like the way Michael Newton wrote it, because he was very honest when he wrote his book, and saying, like, there's a lot of people that come with preconceptions, which is true, I already knew that, and conscious interference. What is conscious interference? Let's say that you're obsessed with Atlantis. You like reading about Atlantis, you research about Atlantis, you watch documentaries about Atlantis, and you book a session because you want to find out about Atlantis, because you feel you were from Atlantis, right? So let's say that during the session, and as you arrive to a past life, you see yourself in an island. That's all you're seeing, yourself in an island. Conscious interference. Oh, I'm in Atlantis now. You see, is that true? We don't know. We don't know. All we know is that you're in an island. Doesn't mean that it's Atlantis. No, but that your conscious mind is already interfering. The thing that you know that you're obsessed about is interfering with your session. So Michael Newton said, I'm going to give you a couple more minutes as you reassess the situation to make sure you're in this place that you say you are in. And the client said, for example, no, it's just an island, right? And that has happened to me as well. So preconception, conscious interference, right? When else and in which other ways can you experience conscious interference? When you read books about who's going to facilitate a session, if you read about Dolores Cannon and you want to have a QHHT session, you want your sessions to be like the ones she mentions in the books. Is that going to happen? We don't know. I mean, she chose to write about those sessions, but she said it in her classes. When I took the class, most past lives are just regular past lives and simple, and she even used the word boring, digging potatoes past life, which means that there's nothing interesting maybe for us as practitioners, but there's always something interesting for the client, because when we visit a past life, we should always keep the therapeutic approach, right? So another example, Michael Newton was also, I'm not the only one experiencing this. I'm mentioning Michael Newton here. Michael Newton had clients that came to him saying, oh, you're going to find that in my session, I'm a level 3 and I'm a level 4 soul, or that my energy is this and this color. This is based on what they read on his book. So they want so much this to happen that they let their conscious mind interfere with the session. And regardless of if it is conscious interference or preconception, your session is going to be affected by what you want to experience, what you think you're going to experience, or what you want, by what you want to experience. And it doesn't work that way. I always say to my clients, I have no control over your session. I'll be there, accompanying your soul, and your soul will take you places where you're supposed to go to get understanding. And I'm not a healer. Once you get that information, once you work on those traumas yourself, you heal yourself. I'm not a healer. So the big difference with preconception and conscious interference, right? And the beauty about hypnosis is that it's not you reading about the stuff, specific topics. It's not about someone else telling you what happened to you, what kind of past life you had. It's not about somebody telling you, oh, you have such and such spirit attached to you, or even worse, there have been people saying, oh, what happens is that there's a curse on you and your family. These come from your ancestors, So now you have this person thinking that everything that is happening to them is because of that curse. And it's the same as being in the victim role, because now you don't take responsibility and ownership of the lessons of the situations that life throws at you, because now you're going to say, oh, it's because of that curse. And even if you don't find anything in the session, they will keep insisting that every time something negative according to them happens to them, they're going to say, oh, it's a curse. So as you see, it doesn't matter what it is, it's going to affect you. And I have no control what you're going to experience in a session. The best approach for the session is come with no expectations, because you don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. What I know is that I will be there for you, to guide you through the process. And I was explaining before, it is not about people telling you or you reading about it. It is about you experiencing it. It is about you feeling what happened to you I don't know, during childhood, in the womb, or in a past life. What matters here is what you experience. As I say in my classes, in order to heal, you need to feel. It's not about people telling you stuff that is going to make you feel better. It's you going through those events, feeling, reliving those moments that's going to help you in your process, in your healing, in understanding the reason why you're experiencing such and such situations in this life. Remember that everything is about learning. And remember that there are no victims in this world. This is a school. Planet Earth is a school, and we come here to learn. So I'll leave you with those two thoughts about preconception and conscious interference. And as I'm talking about these topics here in a table, there's a park, there's the ocean in the back. It's interesting to see how you have YouTubers speaking about food or travel or real estate or different other topics, but you have me, Antonio Sangio, speaking about lost soul, reincarnation, traumas, spirit attachments, and once they pass by and they hear me saying that, they turn their head like, what the hell is he talking about? The truth is that not everybody is ready to listen to this information. I already learned that a long time ago, and I still do what I need to do. So anyway, thank you for listening, and I'm gonna say goodbye to you from Hawaii. Take care. Bye-bye.